Welcome back to Signals on 91.3. My name is Adeomi Oshodi, and this morning we'll continue from where we stopped last week, Saturday. The topic for last week, Saturday, was generating revenue from Grassroots, which was Zoom, and I had to tell the guests that, Oga, you have to come here so that we can see each other and battle it out this morning. I have with me a strategic thinker, hands-on doer. Yes, you can follow you up for Africa, and a manager of resources for excellence. Now he's currently in charge of the revenue generation for Onigongo Local Council Development Association, where he's supporting area. Okay, it's not me. Yeah, no problem. Where he's supporting to raise revenues for the local council with the aim of improving growth and governance at the grassroots. One of his favorite quotes, like we asked him last week, was, "Within him burns a flame. Within me burns a flame which has been passed from generations unaccounted, and its heat is a constant irritation to my spirit to become better than I am, and I will." I like that. Welcome back to Signals, and physically, Adetola Okanlawon. Yes, so.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yes, so let's go back to what we were battling last week, right? Some of the key things that we explored was why should I pay for TV and radio license? I remember that, and I said I wasn't going to let it go. So tell us again.
Well, you see,
educate us again.
Well, most times we always reference Nigeria of the 80s.
But this is Nigeria of 2022. This is 22.
Yeah,
in 2022. And we are still paying for that.
If we see the successes that we actually achieved back then,
okay.
Every household actually was paid for TV, radio.
Our parents did not tell us that one.
Yeah.
They did not tell us the many things that our parents did not tell us, that we are growing up as adults and we are finding out, and it's making us feel as if adulthood is scam because they didn't tell us, right? So, is there a way not to pay for it?
Oh, well, as it is, I can tell that even people that are listening to the radio, a lot of them have not paid for it. Okay. But for the sake of development, I remember the basic worry that we mentioned was execution last week. Yes. And that is something that I see that we're currently working towards in terms of development and things like that, or implementation of our premises, right? Which is one of the reasons why I actually joined, got into politics, and to see exactly how I could be the change agent, if possible. Again, like I mentioned, instead of complaining about things I did not see, I decided, to get my hands dirty, and not even dirty, I would say, but to get my hands on ground so that the things could be positively changed.
Now, there was a conversation we're having before we came on, and I wanted us to touch on that. And even though I didn't tell you, is they often say, I asked you that. Now, so let me give you expo. Yeah. I asked you that you ran for the LCD local government for last year.
Yes.
Right. And the next question I was going to ask was, what did your mom say? And then you gave me a response. And then it just occurred to me that we oftentimes see politics as a dirty game, right? And that was one thing that you said. You said you were available, right? They always look for who is available. Now it occurred to me again that we sometimes say politics is dirty, don't get into it, and then we see the people that we don't want to see be in politics. Now, how do we begin to, because we're entering into the election year, right? So put on your political cap for me. We're entering into the election year. There are a lot of people are obedient, people are batified, people are articulated, and sometimes it looks as if one side is bullying the other more than. Now, how do we, in simple terms, explain to people what politics is really about?
Oh well, I think I sort of touched base with that last week.
Yes, let's start again.
I don't want to call it. Because I'm from a private sector, I don't want to call it business, right?
No.
But again, it's pretty much the platform that is required for us to set certain goals. Okay. Have certain visions, and then put the right people in office, recruit the right people.
Okay, I like that.
Recruit the right people in office, and let's all work towards that vision together. So politics gives everyone the opportunity to drive or to be part of a vehicle, which is Nigeria. Okay. And with their own little contribution, we're able to drive towards the same vision. It's easier that way. How did Gandhi do it? Yeah. Right? There's so many examples out there as to how people have successfully been able to sell certain ideas through politics, through service, and been able to attain that idea because they had a lot of people buy into it.
Now, we oftentimes say that get into politics because now all of a sudden we are all politically aware, right?
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a very good thing. But it wasn't like that before, because you hear parents say that, what are you doing there? What do you want to do?
We were always discouraged about politics. No, don't go there. It's a dedicated. Well, like I mentioned earlier, it's like any sport, right? If you allow, say for example, Maradona was a key player.
Yeah.
But then it was found using drugs, which made him super on the field, right? But there's a body that cautions such things.
True.
So it's the same. It's the same thing. If we had the right, I'm sure we do have, the right bodies, which are parents anyways, right?
Nigerian parents, I hail.
Right. And with the right thinking, right attitude, and those of us who are just standing or sitting in the stadium, let's join the team. Let's be part of that, number 11. I mean, is it 11 players? Yeah. You can be on the bench too, but then, if we don't put these things mentally in place, that's where you have that, politics is dirty, or the game is dirty. Because the players,
Well, the players have money. The people that we want them to join politics don't have money.
How do you mean? The existing players?
Yeah, the existing players have money. But the people that are coming in are like, I don't have money.
Oh well, the truth about any success of anything, anyways, funds are required, and that is why even when you don't have money, you have the opportunity to open up to people.
Okay.
And then people contribute. But sometimes that could be deadly, especially in this world. You don't know who is sending you funds, right? But another caution is, or something you can do as a caution, is to put a cap as to how much anybody can contribute to you or to your cause. Right, so that you don't get in trouble with EFCC and the rest of them.
You don't owe people at the end of the day. Now, Nigerian political terrain, what are your thoughts about it? Because I see a smart man who decided that, what, I'm going to change. I'm trying to play in your mind what made you say, okay, I was going to run for the local government chairman, even when you didn't make it. So that you know why.
Well, I'm not going to make it. I didn't know.
Well, it was okay. So we're giving you kudos for trying, right? Yeah, that's something. So trying and not getting in, because I know you'll still run again because it's almost in the blood. So the Nigerian political terrain, what do you understand by it in that time that you've been able to say, okay, you wanted to run for office?
Oh, well, the good part about...
And the bad part, I want to hear both.
The good part about running was it gave clearer understanding as to systems right, behind political structures. Right? So there are systems. We're talking from the ward level, so we have ESCO members at the very local level.
That you think don't exist?
Yeah, okay, for example, Nibungo has 6 wards. Each ward has a ward chairman, has a vice chairman, has, secretary. All of those, these are...
The systems.
It's about 20 man, right? Committees for each of those. That's already 120 people.
Wow.
That are constantly, January 1 to December 31st, thinking APC. Well, I'm saying APC because I'm an member. And then be above that, they're leaders. Above those leaders, they're apex leaders. And so there's a whole structure. It's like any organization. There's the MD, there's the branch manager, right? There's the employees, right? If you look at it in that context, it's pretty much the same thing. So these are the kind of things that opened up to my eyes when I was in there. I'm like, oh wow, this is how it is. Because I jumped into the deep end. I didn't know how to swim, not literally, but in politics I didn't know how to swim, so I just jumped into the deep end. And I learned the hard way.
Tell us one of the things. So I'm asking all of this because we want people to get involved, because most times you look at Grassroot and you think as if nothing is happening there, but a lot is happening in Grassroot.
A lot is happening. So
tell me one of the hard ways. Tell me one of the hard things that you got home one day and like, okay, so this is deeper than what I saw.
Oh man, it's a lot of work. Oh Jesus, it's a lot of work. Like, just imagine having to, just my little local government. It's not like the whole local government is an LCDA. Just my little LCDA to go around, because each area has its own unique issues. Right? Then you get feedback. You get feedback from the community. You have to work on certain things. Then find a way to solve as little as you can. Being the fact that I'm currently not. So I'm only in charge of creating. I'm not in charge of expenses or expenditure. So these things, it's constant work, constant work. So we had to go round. It's even then that I actually knew the exact size and the boundaries and all this, because I didn't even know all these things existed. Yes, I understand that there are boundaries, but where was it stopping? Which area are you under? So you do have to have a broad knowledge about the things that are going, about the indigents. Yeah, they're indigents of Lagos, so just like we are indigents of other, everybody's coming from different states, they're indigents of that state. They're indigents here, so all of this knowledge, once you actually have that in mind, you have a bigger picture or clarity, and then you start to see what else you can implement.
So you're doing a lot of negotiation.
It's plenty.
So what is the constant now? Yes, you now call it revenue, right? You generate revenue. So what's that constant thing that you see around that area that they need?
Well, for me, it's
that you know that different. Okay, so if the Grassroots gets this, they'll be fine. So we're looking at schools, we're looking at lights, we're looking at water, we're looking at so many things. Yeah, right?
That's, remember I said, like, each area has its own unique issue.
You have bad road network.
So everybody has a peculiar. Some area will say water. Some area will say security. Some area will say, well, not some area. A lot of the areas within there so some of the things that we're doing now is collaborating with the private sector.
Okay.
To basically work out on our schools, not just having the physical appearance, but also to see how we can. We don't know if it's going to work yet, but also how we can pull in the private sector to adopt
schools.
Exactly. So that at the end of the day, what happens is we're able to afford, afford to even improve the teachers, right? Train the trainers, right? At the same time, we can also get to, on the private side, employ maybe vocational teachers and things like that can also impact knowledge, right, to the next generation.
Because when you say schools, every time I pass through a public school in any area, all I see is they paint the outward, they paint the physical buildings, and I'm wondering how many students are in those classes. Yes, it's one thing for them to say, okay, they're going to schools, right, but can they really compete? That's so. It's for me. It's not the structure. It's so the physical structure is you paint, and then you see windows, and there's so many, right? So how then are we able to say, okay, fine, we need to give them proper education beyond painting the physical? If you understand what I mean?
I understand. I think that's one of the reasons why the Lagos State government did this radio.
Oh yes,
course. Yeah, so that we can find alternatives to passing knowledge to the next generation. Sure, a lot of the schools are overbooked.
Yes,
I can by the number of children within there. But it's still, again, not something the government alone will be able to do. What is wrong with, having that top 50 companies, in Lagos or in Nigeria, putting on facilities like that, right, so that we reduce the number of students, per class, right? Everything can't
be alone.
Be alone on the go.
But government has money.
So everybody keeps saying. I like the fact that everybody says that, which is good. And then we like to also look at other countries, right?
Let's not even compare. See. You know what you've just done with letting us know this morning is we have systems. We think we don't have systems, but we have systems in place, right? That's what you've uncovered for us this morning. So how then can the systems ensure that the grassroots are covered?
Right. So this is the thing.
So you see,
you need to separate. You need to separate politics and the community. And how do I mean? When I spoke about the systems earlier, it was politics, right? Then there's the community in general.
Okay.
Now, what we've been doing recently is to see how to affect, use
political
system to
help the community,
so that we can easily access the people. Don't get it wrong. There's a lot of people in politics now, as it is, right? But there's still room.
There's still room because the more people that are in politics are more than people that are not.
Yeah, way more. Like
way more.
Way more. And it's a lot of us who are who went to school. I'm not going to say educated because a lot of people went to school and they seem not to get this thing. Are shying away from it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We can't all go into office or go into politics. It's not possible. But what can you do as an individual? We all see problems. If you see a problem, you are the solution to it. To be honest.
I am the solution to it, then I am the solution to the problem, right? Then I see an opposition. Yeah.
Oppositions are everywhere. It's a constant thing. Even within you, there's opposition. Within yourself.
So how...
Eat this. No, don't eat it. Even inside you, there's opposition. Yeah, but how do you deal with it?
That's
it's... For me, I go...
Head on.
I just go head on. Whatever would hit me there, I'll now say, oh, wow, this is how it goes, right? But that's pretty much how a lot of this, should I say, things work.
So you generate revenue from me. Now, after generating revenue from no, it's the message, it's not the messenger, right? So you generate revenue, and I'm wondering, okay, so you're collecting all these 20 naira, 30 naira, 50 naira. Oh God, when was that even 20 naira? Anyway, 20 naira, 50 naira, 100 naira, 200, 500, all those levies. Yes, let's pack it on that levies. Now, all those levies, what should I expect in return?
Oh, well, so for example,
just tell me. As it is.
if you look at Lagos State, what they do in terms of encouraging businesses, they have a trade fair.
Okay.
Right, and that's on a larger scale. Now, in Lagos, we have 57 LCDs. Now, imagine if each local government had its own fair to promote the businesses within
the LCDs.
Now,
that's better.
How does you understand? You're giving them more reason to contribute.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, most of your customers are going to come
within
your
community,
area. Right? So, an exhibition for hotels, and you can invite people from other communities or other local government to come, right? And then you can, just why, for example, mile 12, people, all of us,
my 12 and
yeah, we take our money from. If we look at it like importation and exportation, we take our money from our country or our local government. We go to another local government, like we travel to another place, right?
Okay, bring it on.
We then pay money there and then we import it back into our local government, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it then reaches that place, right? Mine is, why don't we have those guys that are supplying that market come to my market?
Okay.
Food will be cheaper because it reduces the cost of
transportation.
Logistics. Yeah. Right? And then the money stays within the local government. and there's prosperity, and growth.
Politicians.
Like that. It's not a one-day thing. And again, I've seen so many of these things, and instead of complaining about it, I decided to do something about it.
I like the fact that you're doing something about it. But while raking in revenue, how can local government distinguish between contributing to the state IGR and setting aside money meant for other projects? I saw that.
No, repeat the question.
So, how do we distinguish between the local government's money and contributing to the state's IGR and setting aside money meant for other projects? So, are you telling us this morning that the money that you generated for Onibongo, it's not going to Alausa, it's just for Onibongo alone?
Yes, it's for Onibongo alone.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is the state actually, has other levies and taxes and things that they collect. Then they remit to the local government.
Okay.
So if, like, parking, for example, which is quite
an issue,
quite a topic to.
Yes, it's like another topic because we don't have parking spaces. So anyway, continue.
The state government collects on behalf of the local government, and then remits back a portion of it, right, to the local government. So that's how we're able to set budgets. So there's like not constant, but it is a range in terms of amount that is contributed from the states to the local government. And then we raise IGR to complement that so that we can fit things into the budget that we set. Right? So even as a revenue generator, you still have targets, and because for that vision to be made whole or real, there are expenses for it. And that's how we're able to.
Can we just not pay tax at all? Can we just not pay levies? Because look at the economy. Look at things are expensive. Or fuel is very expensive at the moment. They're accused and all of that. So sometimes you want to get home, and I think my heart goes out, even though they're very, very naughty. My heart goes out to the Danfo drivers who they will pay from one junction to the other, and I'm like, this money is not complete. And then the passengers get the brunt of, because if they collect 200 naira from, let's say, 3 to 4 to 10 people, all the people on that road, I still don't understand how they do that. All the people from one junction to another junction, they collect all the money.
Oh well, to be honest, I don't have that much knowledge.
Yeah, but
when it comes to
the money is not too much job.
Yeah, but it's not. It's. I get. This is what happens if you take off from a junction or from a bus stop, right? If you drop somebody, you're not going to pay anything. You're not going to pay anything at that junction. But if you pick somebody up, right, there is
another levy.
Something. So I really don't understand how that system works.
I
per
don't.
se. And I say it's a lot of money, but I don't. Again, I think we need to also find a way to
decentralize the system.
Even uplift those guys,
so
that they have other
things that they are doing and not waiting for money from bus drivers, even though those bus drivers are naughty. But hey, a signals on 1.3. We're talking revenue generation with Adetola Okanlawon. If you have questions, comments, WhatsApp us. WhatsApp call us 009 234 5913. If you have questions, come whenever you come and ask the question. Call us 009 191 3913 or 009 222 0913. Now it went from politics, and let's talk about you a bit, and tell us about your group business apart from collecting money. Collect your money, because that's what's in my head. Tell us your business developer at Transfer IT. Tell us about that. What do you do?
Oh well,
What's going on?
Let's change the whole.
Yes, because if I keep looking at that, if I keep looking at the money there, it will be around my computer. So don't let me do that.
So again, I do the same thing.
Okay.
Business development, still revenue.
Again, you're not even running away from it.
Basically, what we're looking.
I'm coming. Wait. Continue.
Okay.
Let me quickly read it.
What we're looking at, what we do basically is to find out, you know, that game when we were young, well, it still exists. Spot the difference.
Okay. Yes.
Where you see two images, one side is missing something, right?
The other side is not missing.
Exactly. That's what that's pretty much the summary of what business developers do.
Okay.
We spot the difference. We look out for the opportunities in the market. We look out for the opportunities within the existing market or clients that we have, right? And see how we can find new solutions. Obviously, by providing solution, you know, revenue is generated. And you know, in simple terms, that's pretty much what business developers do. Okay. And that's what I do in Tranta IT.
Okay.
Right, to see exactly how we can take the business from where it currently is
to where it's going to.
Yeah, because there's a vision, right? So, for example, for the past 20 plus years, the Tranta IT has recruited or has been has recruited for about 75% of the banks, right? And how do I mean? Outsource services. So some of the banks outsource their IT units to us, right? We have highly skilled technicians, network administrators,
Are you sure we're not losing
IT
them to
support.
Japa?
Well,
We're
a
beginning
lot
to
a lot of our people, our staff, even my CEO recently Japa, right? But then again, that happens because we find opportunities elsewhere, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Everybody can, you know, leave. Well, taking it to the next level, what we now did was, since there's a huge gap in the market now,
Talent gap.
yeah, especially in the tech space, software engineering. What we did, we built a new company called Bullseye, and Bullseye basically is training. It's a job placement company, job placement and career management, but then we offer training so that the people have the right skills to be placed in those jobs, in the available jobs, and then we manage your career for the next 10 years or 15 years. Totally depends on what you know. Yeah, you know.
Just hold a second a bit. Quick questions. I've noticed that new cameras set up to monitor drivers with expired license plates or roadworthiness. Is this a form of raking in revenue? And when would we have actual security cameras that will monitor the welfare of the citizens? That's for you.
Oh, well. I'm trying to understand that because I got a text yesterday that you know, PH something. I said
they caught you too.
I put my plate number. They did not bring anything. They put way bill or something. Okay, I put a way bill number in there and they brought out the bill and I'm like, okay, what is the offense? You can't just randomly send me a text message.
We need more lawyers now this time around because
no, it's true. Maybe all of us have been seeing it now. You know, but again, it is, you know, fines, breaking the rules, breaking laws and things is not okay. And if that happens, especially in, you know, driving and things like that, or road usage, there are fines to it, right? So that is what the state is currently doing to see how to improve security, or basically security on the road, right? For road users and things like that. And if you break it, then you're fined for it.
You see, it's one thing to you can put camera anywhere. Anybody can have camera anywhere, right? It's one thing for us to have a country, a state that truly works. Now, I was coming along Adekunle, and I think I was going to Yaba or somewhere, I don't know. And then I saw the cameras up, and I'm wondering, okay, fine. I'm not asking you not to put systems in place, right? The question that bothers me, even for office holders, is you cannot. Yes, you can do something, but the other things are not working. So we have bad roads. Third Mainland Bridge, there's still potholes on Third Mainland Bridge, right? Yeah, even this morning I was coming, it was almost, I was a bit scared, right? The potholes on that Third Mainland Bridge. Sometimes when you're terrible potholes, right? And then sometimes you're going at night, you're going home or you're coming from work, and then I think there was one day there was mad traffic. I think not this. There was mad traffic, and there was no lights, no security lights to even ensure. So every car is using their, how do you use it? Is it pointer? Hazard light. All those lights in front, right? I need to go and learn that, right? And we're using that to see ourselves out. So yes, you can make. So that's why I'm a bit of, okay, collect money from me. Don't collect money from me, but at least let people know that you're collecting this money and we're seeing this result. Than to begin to make, because I look at it that we want to generate revenue and we want a better society and everybody's campaigning and campaigning. The question is, do we even have good community roads? That's one. Good water. You will not have to as business owners, right, we will not have to be facing talent gap because stuffs are in place. I hope you get what I mean. Because there is you see, everybody will receive text message because CCTV will catch you. Well, yes, it can be like that, but
yeah, but at least let them. They should also mention what the offenses are. Okay. At least
that's why thank God you're providing IT.
Yeah, like
let's explain what this IT is.
What let me use this traffic management from other countries. When you break the law, right? On traffic usage or road usage, they will send you the picture of what you did with the fine.
And you will know that you have entered
it. You have done it. You can't even dispute it. Right? But I think they should that system should be upgraded a little bit to also tell people what their offenses are.
So we're still talking revenue generation and the talent gap. That talent gap.
Well, it has been a huge storm of people, leaving the country. But again, we still have
people.
Yeah, we still have 68 million unemployed. Like, there's the opportunity there. Now, if you look on the global scale, there's going to be, like they said, there's going to be like another global economic meltdown, right? And if you look at the major what did Twitter do?
They're laying off.
Yeah,
a lot of tech companies are laying off.
Facebook did 11,000. They laid off 11,000 people in one day.
And then they're laying. I'm even worried for tech, right? They're laying people off, and we're still saying we're tech.
Oh no! So here's the difference.
Okay.
If I meet you as an American and I say I want to build a website, you tell me $2,000-$3,000. If you meet me as a Nigerian guy in tech and you want to build a website, I'll tell you $500. Who would you buy from?
500.
Even if we have the same skills, even if I might even have better skills.
But you know that okay. So
what they will be doing, because those companies are global.
They're looking for
they will be
good talents
at a lower rate. It's the opportunity for us, because that's what everybody else did.
True.
China,
cutting down labor.
India,
get cheap labor to pay.
You understand what I mean? It's all an economy, I would say, to see exactly how, where, and how we can
cut.
Yeah, not cut expenses, increase revenue.
Well, you're getting value for one over the other.
You understand? So that gives opportunities to certain areas, while to some areas is a disadvantage. Yeah.
Now, so for business owners who are listening, and because I want to quickly draw back to your business development side, not the one I'll call general one. Now, how do people begin to see solutions? How do they begin to, because again, everyone is trying to cut costs, things are expensive. How do they begin to look for solutions around their own businesses that can also help them generate money? I didn't know. Tell us from that cap that you wear.
Well, there's so many verticals, right? Okay. Some have died, like some industries are gone. Right? And new ones are coming. So
hold your thought. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Is this Lagos talk?
Yes, please. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Justin. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, welcome to Signals on 91.5. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so I really don't know what the topic is about. I just started listening in. Well, I heard the part you guys were talking about VIS and the text message you send out. I had an experience lately, and I want to use this platform to talk about it, so maybe the right people could hear and start doing something about it.
Yeah.
So I got a message on my phone that my vehicle had been used to commit traffic offense, which means someone was driving it with an expired license plate. So I decided, because I know that I'm very careful when it comes to things like that, and it's almost impossible. So I decided to dispute the claim. So on the message, there's a link, and I clicked on dispute claim,